Podcast 101. What is a meta-analysis? Only today.
Hello, everyone. So today we have here with us Anastasia Gryshyna.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Can you tell us more about what you're working on?
Yeah, I'm looking at the effects that flipped classroom has on the student achievement in biology classes, as well as the potential moderators of this relationship.
Okay, so what is a flipped classroom then?
Well, flipped classroom is commonly also referred as an inverted classroom. It's the concept where instead of the traditional lecture style class where the professor is presenting a topic in a face-to-face manner, students are doing activities prior to the face-to-face time. These activities are often videos or whatever the professor chooses to apply. Whenever students come to the face-to-face class, the time is usually spent in an active learning fashion, for example, doing problems, having discussions, and other things. There has been previous research on how such environment influences student achievement in biology class. However, the results are inconclusive, where some studies show a statistically significant positive relationship between flipped classroom and achievement, while others do not report a statistically significant relationship at all.
So, if your studies don't report the same results, how are you planning to answer your research question?
Well, I plan to do a meta-analysis of all of the studies that looked at the traditional versus flipped classroom biology.
Time out. What is a meta-analysis?
Meta-analysis is basically a type of statistical analysis that incorporates data from previous independent studies. Therefore, when the researchers are using a meta-analysis to answer a specific research question, instead of conducting an independent study and gathering new information, researchers are gathering data from the multiple studies that were previously done and analyzing them all together to get one data summary to answer the research question. For more podcasts, please visit www.nonexistentpodcastwebsite.edu.
And how will using this meta-analysis help you?
Well, using meta-analysis has numerous advantages, one of which is the availability of the context. Moreover, because of the meta-analysis provides information from multiple studies, there is a decrease on the sampling variability, which could be attributable to the results of the study. For example, when looking at the analysis of one study, we do not know whether the effect that was observed was due to manipulation or due to the differences among participants. Meta-analysis also gives you an ability to understand how the power of the study is associated with the results. And you may ask what the power is. And power is basically your ability to detect a significant effect or difference when there is one. While individual studies on its own way suggest a specific conclusion based on the analysis of the data that was reported, when conducting a meta-analysis, we get a much clearer picture of whether or not we can make the same conclusion. This could be achieved if we look at the power of the studies during the meta-analysis. The results of the individual study could have been attributable to the power, and therefore the conclusion might not be completely true. And lastly, meta-analysis will also help me to understand if there would be possibly a publication bias in the studies. This phenomenon is commonly referred as a file drawer problem, and this simply means that maybe studies that did not have a significant results or negative results were simply not published, which can obviously exclude the overall results of meta-analysis.
So you're basically saying a meta-analysis is the perfect tool then?
Well, yeah, meta-analysis is great and it has many advantages to the field of science, but it does have some flaws.
Like what?
One of the limitations is the limited number of participants that many of the original studies may have. Because of the study does not have a lot of participants, the data for the meta-analysis may result in a lower power, or as I mentioned earlier, the ability to detect a difference if there is one, and increase the statistical error therefore. So basically, it's the problem of taking the garbage in to produce another garbage. So moreover, some may argue that when you're doing meta-analysis, you're comparing apples to oranges, but we can also say that we're making a fruit salad.
And how do you think your research would relate to educators and students?
Well, the education is constantly evolving, and with the new technology, there is a need for further research to see how new technological advancements can help new generations to succeed in school.
Well, I hope your research goes really well, and thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me.
Oh, thank you.